All right, here we are again. Another episode number 2. It is the next day after my first video. So I've had some time to reflect and I tried to change some things up. So I guess I'll mention that right off the bat. I turned on a lamp. I opened my curtain, so I'm hoping that draws some more light in. Or I guess I'll say first, I rewatched my video probably 2-3 times from yesterday, and I really do want to improve. And I took some notes on some things I would like to improve on, and I'll kind of get into that later on. There's some things I'd like to talk about first. One being the Bad Batch. I watched episode 8, Bad Territory, I think it's called, and we'll talk about that. But just to get this out of the way, or I guess to start, got me another beer today with my Avengers cup. So, yeah, you know how it goes. So I hope the lighting's better. I threw a blanket behind the camera, and I hope that improves the sound, because when I re-listened to it, I thought it was very echoey. And I also changed chairs. My last chair was just so loud, so I changed chairs. I threw my clock up there. It doesn't work. It used to work when I was a kid. It's a nice Star Wars clock. But yeah, so I really do want to improve on some things. And hopefully I can, when I rewatch this one, hopefully I can see some of those improvements that I tried to make. Excuse me. And like I said, I took some notes. So I got my notepad, and I took plenty of notes about things I'd like to fix. I also took some notes about Bad Batch. I said yesterday in my video that I wasn't going to review things. And I don't want to say that's what I'm doing. I'm not a reviewer. I'm not a critic. I just want to talk about it, and whether that's a review or whether that's things I've noticed. I don't want to break it down or anything like that. I just want to talk about it. So take that as you will. So I guess I'll start off by just talking about some things that I noticed about my video yesterday. When I rewatched it, I noticed that I said the same word a lot. And I kept doing that. I kept repeating myself, and I think I was trying to talk way too quick. I don't think I'm a slow talker, but I don't talk as fast as I talked in the last video. And I don't know why I did that. I think maybe because I was so nervous because it was my first video, and I almost thought about deleting it. But I'm not going to, because I think it'd be cool if I get better and better and better every video. I think it'd be nice to go back eventually and watch that. And I'm surprised I'm even making this video right now, because as I mentioned in the video yesterday, I didn't know if I was going to make another one. I didn't know if I was going to keep this up, but I was so happy, not really about how it went. I thought it went okay. Like I said yesterday, I was somewhat happy about it. Or relatively happy, I think is the words I used. Like I said, I rewatched it quite a bit. But, so yeah, I wanted to get all that out of the way. The visuals are not great. I am shooting this on my iPhone. I do not have a professional camera. And whenever, I think it looks great now, but whenever it transfers from my phone onto YouTube, it doesn't transfer the way I would like it to, which is fine. So this is just what we are going to be working with. But like when I rewatched it, like I couldn't tell like what that stuff was like on my little table there. So today I'm just going to try to talk slower. I'm going to try to, I can try to quit using my hands, but I'm a hand talker. I really am. I can't help that. I wished I could but I just can't. So let me look at my my notes. I think I rambled maybe a little too much yesterday, and I said in yesterday's video that I do want to ramble. I do really want to ramble on because I feel like a lot of people in their podcasts, I feel like they are like, okay, this topic and then this topic and then this. That's not what I want to do. I want it to be like an open conversation, and it's not a podcast. It's not I it's what I want to do. I'm not doing this to put a label on it or anything like that. I'm just doing what I want to do. And we will see how that lands today. So I'm going to try to keep it more concise, maybe not ramble on so much, because I talked about Dune 2, and I talked about all of Star Wars, and I talked about Marvel and DC, and I'd like to kind of keep it more, or rein it in just a little bit more, I should say. So hopefully I can do that today. But yeah, and I'm gonna say a lot. I'm hoping I get better with this. I really do, because I had so much fun yesterday when I recorded it, and today I was just genuinely in a good mood, and all I was thinking about was my video last night. And like I said, I'm not expecting a whole lot of views. I just want to talk, and this is that outlet for me to talk. So my hair is going to get in my eyes. This isn't perfect. I don't know if it'll ever get to the point of perfect. So I don't know. We are just doing this one video at a time. But I just watched Bad Batch, so we'll kind of segue into that. I just watched Bad Batch, episode 8, Bad Territory, and I thought it was interesting. Was it my favorite episode of the season? No, it definitely was not. But it wasn't my least favorite. It was another episode with Hunter and Wrecker. And like I said in the last video, Hunter and Wrecker are just not my favorites. I've always kind of felt like they were very one-note characters. Wrecker is the dummy. He's the demolitions expert, and Hunter is the father figure to Omega. He's the hunter. He's the tracker. And they do that again this episode. They utilize them for demolitions and for tracking. And I gotta say, the more I see Hunter and Wrecker just doing their thing by themselves, I'm liking them more and more. But when you stick them in an episode with people like Omega and Crosshair, which I'll talk about in a minute, they're never going to compete with me, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. So this episode started out, they are looking for an M count, or they're looking to find out what an M count is. And as viewers of Star Wars, we all know what an M count is, which is the midichlorian count, which goes all the way back to the Phantom Menace, and we all know about that. But they do not. As clones, they don't know what the M count is. I'm guessing the Jedi never let them in on that information. And so at the beginning of the episode, they get in contact with Phee, all the way back from season 2. She came in the first episode, I believe. And so they get in contact with her, and she kind of says that the bounty hunters are accepting jobs from the Empire to find people with M count, but she doesn't know what it means, and so Phee can't really help them other than kind of give them that tidbit of information. And so they go off and they find Fennec Shand. And they leave Omega and they leave Crosshair behind on Pabu. And before they leave, they tell Omega, have Crosshair get help. And my favorite parts of the episode were with Omega and Crosshair. And I like those two characters a lot more. Excuse me. And I'm liking Omega this season a lot more than I have in the previous 2 seasons, because I think I think in the first season, she kind of reminded me of how Ahsoka was in Clone Wars. Just a little annoying, but she didn't really come into her own. And I think this season really is, she's really kind of stealing the show. And I'm really liking Omega this season. And so Omega and Crosshair are trying to figure out what's going on with Crosshair. He has a shaky hand, and they're not figuring out what's quite going on with it. And so they go to AZ, and AZ basically says that it's not something wrong with your body, it's something wrong with your mind. And so AZ's trying to get into his head and trying to figure out, hey, what's going on up there? Why are you, what's going on? And or Crosshair, I should say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Yesterday, I tried so hard. Sorry, here I go on another tangent. Yesterday, I lost my train of thought a lot, but I would like just start talking immediately just so I could rope it back in. And I didn't cut anything. I'm not going to cut anything from this video because I don't know how to edit. I hope to figure that out later. But I'm working on some improvements today, so we'll just take it one step at a time. So they say it's all in Crosshair's mind, and Crosshair will not open up to anybody, and that's been a big running thing throughout this season is, will Crosshair open up? And Crosshair is not wanting to open up, which I get. We don't even know the full extent of what all he went through on Mount Tantus. Tantalor. That's a callback to Jedi Survivor. Tantus. And so he's kind of scared to open up, and Omega basically tells AZ, all right, I'll talk to him. And Omega goes up to him, and she says, hey, what we got to do is we got to get into your mind, and you got to ease your mind, and let's meditate. And so they meditate, and that was my favorite scene, is when they're sitting by the ocean, they're meditating, and Crosshair has his fists all bunched up. And, that's just a sign of someone being closed off. If they're blocking their body or if they're all tensed up like that, they're not wanting to open up. And so Omega really worked on trying to open him up. She turned his hand over, and he even says, where did you learn all this? She says from Gungi, which we saw in the last, or Gungi, nobody knows how to say his freaking name. Nobody knows. So Gungi, who's a Jedi, taught her how to meditate. And it kind of got me thinking, is this more of a callback to her being a Jedi? Because we know she's got something to do with M count. She has a higher M count than the rest of the clones. Is she a Jedi? That is the big question of the season right now. We have no idea. We have no idea if she's a Jedi or not. But I assume we will find out, considering this is the last season. So I assume we'll find out. What doesn't make sense to me is, if she is a Jedi, then why are none of the other clones, or I don't want to say a Jedi, is she Force sensitive? Because you can be Force sensitive and not be a Jedi, or not be a Sith. You can do either. But is she Force sensitive? And if she is Force sensitive, then why is no other clone Force sensitive? And if they are, then wouldn't you think that on Tantus, their midichlorian count thing would have beeped as well? I don't know. I'm eager to find out where they're going to take that. And I'm loving Crosshair and Omega this episode and their relationship. Crosshair's kind of taken the position of how Hunter was in the first two seasons. He's almost the father figure this season, which I'm loving. Their relationship is awesome. So I can't wait to see more of that, and we probably will next episode. So let's go back to Hunter and Wrecker. So they leave Pabu, and they want to go find out what the M count is. So they track down Fennec Shand, and they meet her on, I don't even know where they meet her at. They meet her on this floating space station place, and she's drinking some wine or some liquor. Who knows? I am drinking beer. Take another drink. But yeah, so they track her down, and they say, hey, can you get us in contact, or can you give us some information about what an M count is? And then she said, I can get you in contact. But here's what you got to do for me. You got to help me track down this guy named Silas, or not Silas, Sylar. Not sure. I don't remember. He wasn't that important, I'm guessing. That's probably the last time we'll ever see him. I think it's Sylar or Sylar. So she says I need to track down Sylar. No other bounty hunter was able to do it, and so if you guys can help me do that, I will keep the reward, but I will give you guys the information you need. So they do. They go to New Orleans. It's not New Orleans. I don't know what the planet was. I don't even know if they said the planet name, and if they did, I definitely missed it. But I didn't love the visuals of this planet. I did, however, like how they said, put your helmet on. You can't breathe this air. There's not many planets in Star Wars where they can't breathe the air. So I love when they do that, because it makes the universe that much more expansive. Because as you know, in every other sci-fi type franchise or whatever, it's always oxygen's a big component into the story. Not in Star Wars. It never has been. The only character I can really think that's ever had an issue with that is Plo Koon. I think because Plo Koon always had that thing over his face. So I did like that little detail. So they go on this planet, and I did not like the visuals. It was bright orange. It looked like sunset the whole time, and then it kind of got darker throughout the episode, and it was hard to see. And the animation is only getting better and better and better. And so I like how, like, you can see, like, on the boat when the headlights are on, or that little orange blade that Sylar has, it makes those pop because it's so dark. But I just don't love the visuals of it. I really didn't love the visuals of this episode. In fact, I think it was one of the worst looking episodes by far. Bad Batch. So that was kind of my one big complaint. So they track down Sylar. They get him. It's kind of one of those monster of the week type of episodes. It really reminded me of episode 2 of this season, which was a kind of another, I don't want to say filler, because they are talking about important things and they deal with important things, but it's almost filler in a way, in a weird roundabout way. Kind of how Mandalorian is. Like, you have to watch every episode, but it's who's the monster this week? And that gets old, and that's something Bad Batch has been really bad about. No pun intended. They've been really bad about it. So, I don't know. If that's a big complaint of yours, I guess this is the last season you've got to deal with it. So, but they're dealing with crocodiles, and they're dealing with all this shit, and they're on the boat, and then they have to defuse some bombs, which makes Wrecker really stand out right there. But even then, I mean, Wrecker and Hunter, they're just so one note to me. And I know everybody's not going to agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But to me, that they do seem just so one note. I get kind of tired of it. But I will say, if I'm going to get a Hunter Wrecker episode, I preferred this one over episode 2 because I like Fennec Shand, and I liked the B plot of the episode with Hunter or Crosshair and Omega. I really liked that stuff. So that almost made it way more redeemable for me in my eyes. And so they track down this guy and they get him. And then at the end of the episode, clearly Fennec is talking to somebody who knows about the M count, because she says, hey, I just met these clones. They want to know about the M count, and they say something. We can't hear what they say, and we can't tell what their voice is, but we know it's Asajj Ventress. We know it's Asajj Ventress. We know she's popping up, and so we're all guessing it's her. So I'm guessing we'll either see her next episode, or maybe the episode after. Well, probably not the episode after, because episodes, I think 10 and 11 come out the same week. Excuse me. They come out the same week. Maybe it's 10 and 11. Maybe it's 11 and 12. I'm not sure. So we'll see. We will see. I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. Wasn't my favorite. Wasn't my least favorite. A little filler, but really not filler, because you do have to watch it. I think you can't skip it. I don't think it's one of those episodes you can skip. I think arguably episode 2 is skippable. But I don't know. Season 3 is kind of on fire. I'm loving season 3 of Bad Batch so far. We are over halfway through with Bad Batch. We've watched 8 episodes and there's 15, so we've got 7 episodes left. And I'm very eager to see what they do with this. They've got a lot to tackle still. So I don't know. But yeah, I think I'll end this here. I kind of rounded it back in this episode, or this video, I think. I kept it a little bit more concise. I like my lighting a lot better. Hopefully the sound sounds better. I know the visuals will not look better, unfortunately, until iPhone fixes that or I get a better camera. So yeah. I'm way happier with how this went, I think. I will definitely know after I rewatch it. But I'm way happier with this. I think things were more concise. My brain wasn't just all over the place. So yeah, I will definitely keep making these videos. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm good at it. I'm probably not as good as most YouTubers are, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to be me. I'm trying to keep making content, or I don't want to say content. Keep making videos that I enjoy. And I enjoyed my video yesterday, and I hope I enjoy this one today. So yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say. If you're watching, thank you. Like I said yesterday, if you're not watching, who cares? That's okay. It's okay. Right before I end it, I'm going to take another drink of beer. If you've got a beer, or if anybody's got a beer, I hope they are drinking it as well. And we'll end it here. 22 minutes. It's a lot shorter than my episode yesterday. So yeah, we'll call it good. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.